Greetings everyone. So in this video I want to talk about the future of operating systems. OS, Mac OS, Windows, Linux. So I'm using Mac and Linux. Windows I don't touch unless I would have to for a job, which hasn't happened. So the thing is, today we have vibe coding. Basically AI doing the application, the website, by your prompts. So this has gone from just 2 years since AI basically became launched and people could use ChatGPT and so on. Now we have vibe coding, where you can build 80 to 90% of a finished product. Especially if you're a developer, you can kind of build it up with some logic and scalability in mind. So this is just a fast evolution of developing. Now, think about 5 to 10 years from now. I don't think our OS will be static as it is now. Maybe we will have some static applications, but I think, for example, let's say I'm doing a channel with some running themes and I love this orange color or whatever. The video editor in that operating system will conjure up a customized video editing template for me based on my interest, my preferences and so on. Whether we like it or not, Windows and Mac in the newer models already uses some sort of AI, so basically analyzing what you do and how you do it. So even if you're on Linux interacting with somebody on a Windows or Mac, it's analyzed in a sense. But basically thinking about this, if vibe coding happened just so fast after AI got public, and I remember in 2023, before I got into development really, I talked to a developer and he has been coding since his teens, so he's a coder, he's a dev guy, and he said to me, I can't work without AI anymore. Not because he's bad or anything, but just because it's a teacher, it's a helper, it's everything basically. And now 2 years later, people are building applications. Children are learning how to code in a very fascinating way, and you have all of these developers whining about how vibe coding or prompt coding won't replace them. Of course it won't, but you can get 80%, 90% of the product done. I mean, complicated stuff. And of course, if you're a non-developer, you might kind of build up the application a bit too messy with the AI. But if you have some sort of logic, as I said, and with some scalability in mind, you can do a really decent product, and people are already doing this. So how does that stop the operating systems to be that kind of snappy and active? So let's say I have my channel for the orange runners or whatever, and I need to create some sort of t-shirt concept or some images. I think that kind of template-based static image or video editor will be able to customize the whole thing just for my purpose. And this means also, when you think about how we interact with the AI, it's not only text-based anymore, it's conversation, it's screenshots, it's videos. So basically, if you need any help with anything, some coding errors or anything, basically, you can just show it to it, and you'll get a response which is feasible, which makes sense, which is amazing, because most people are alone and need help, and it's much faster than to search on what's it called again now? I'm not going to mention it, but those old static pages which are kind of outdated now. Nobody uses them because AI has replaced it. And AI, we can call it whatever we want to, but that's the way we are going with all of this. Even YouTube announced that they will be making videos by prompts. So even creating videos will become such a boring fake thing. But the point here is that everything will be able to conjure up or be created in the instant. So let's say I have a business and I sell these orange sweaters or whatever. I can create a customized kind of business plan, bookkeeping plan, just by talking to the AI or prompting or whatever. I'll get the software. I don't need to go to a company and get it and pay money. I can get my own. So while and it's always the balance, you see, while it gets really centralized, the usage will become very decentralized. So a lot of people will be put out of work, but at the same time a lot of people will be able to make a living. And now we're in a transition phase. We're not really starting the transition phase yet, we're still in the beginning of it. And that's just something very interesting of what's possible. And personally, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So yeah, and yeah, what do you think about that? Operating systems. I mean, when you log into your computer, you see the applications, you have your trash bin, you click on your browser and all that. It's not really going to look like that in the future. I mean, I really doubt that it will be. It'll be some sort of interactive thing that will change on your needs, your mood. I mean, if you want to. So even I've heard this from one of the big companies like 2 years ago already mentioned, but now seeing the development over the last couple of years, I mean, of course it's been in the research for longer than that, and but in the commercial market, you know, I mean, today you can create your own, let's say you're homeschooling, you can create your own curriculum based on your own preferences and get the AI model doing it. Then you can create the application for this. Let's say autumn term for your homeschooling project. You can create the software, or I mean the app, that will do the questions or you know, whatever you want there, math, geography, and so on. So you can create all of this. So that's a massive good for the freedom aspect. As I said, things will get more centralized, but at the same time decentralized in its utility for people. And there's always a flip side to everything, and the more things change, the more it stays the same. But this is amazing. I really think so, especially when I talk to people who are into maybe homeschooling or you know, adding on some educational levels for their children, which I do also, like giving them extra assignments and, you know, read books with them, things they practice and so on. So this is really easy to create now. It's so amazing. The only thing that's necessary is a bit of time and interest. So that's why I'm coming back to this. Like, if you don't have the time to utilize this, you won't even know it's happening. The next generation will be much more in tune with it. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting time to be living in, especially for us who have seen the birth of internet in the 90s and up until now. And if anybody just wants to mention the privacy, the, you know, the surveillance and all that, I'm aware of that. I'm a privacy guy. You have to know how to deal with your things, you know. You can't have just one account, one computer for all purposes. The same way a musician doesn't have one guitar. They start off with one guitar, but then they have all the other guitars that are tuned to various kind of styles of music. Maybe the fat strings for the open tuning, for the slide guitar, the thin one on the Stratocaster for the more solo stuff. That's the way this is also going to develop. Plurality. Like people back in the days knew how to deal with various types of horses and animals, which most of us don't know how to. I think we would, if we just, you know, had to, we would learn. I'm an optimist in people generally. People are adapt, people are smart. We are adapting to the new times we are living in. So, with this said, it's really amazing that you can create your own curriculum, your own educational applications for your children, for yourself. You can create some fun stuff overall. But just imagine in 5 or 10 years how this will be interacting. I'm not really believing in that kind of brain chip thing. As I said once before, I think the whole monkey that drank the smoothie and played Pong with the Neuralink chip, that was just fake, you know, just to hype it up. But just basically on this sort of still kind of slow analog way we are interacting with our machines, it's still massive. It's still massive. You can basically create a whole structured document or paper or plan by a casual conversation and ID. What before used to take time to write down and then kind of rework, and you know, things might not even happen because it takes so much time. Now it's much easier and faster. However, the trick is you should not leave faster because of it. It's your responsibility to make this in your own pace so it suits you, because you know, it's up to us to use technology as we would like to do and wish. But yeah, so maybe 5 to 10 years for this kind of static operating systems on the phones and computers where you click on the icons, download apps. They'll all be kind of like conjured up like a vibe coding tool. And for those of you who might not know, vibe coding is basically prompting an AI with anything so it creates the code and the application for you. Pretty good, pretty amazing. So that's that. Just some thoughts on this run. And after 12 minutes, I think it's time to stop dragging along and start running. So I hope you have a great evening. Until next time, all the best.